Okay, welcome back to the channel. I missed this one in my previous video. So luckily somebody reminded me, and oh my god, they have another as per balance adjustments. I thought the last time was the only time. Like they wanted to change like an supposedly good Esper that is no longer can compete with the current meta, and they wanted to change that, like for someone like Abigail, Sienna, and the Fatum sisters. Like they are a support, and which is supposed to be good, but they are, how to say, kind of like have uh, a weird interaction like the previous one. Like it's almost good but not good enough to bring in your lineup. But oh my god, they have another as per balance adjustments, and now they changed Nora, Ophelia, Fatima, Amir, Yuhime, Yamata, and Fumitsuki. I mean, some of them are just came out, like, Fatima. I mean, I'm not really surprised about Fatima. Like, she just came out, and I mentioned it myself in my video that Fatima is not really up to standard. So these changes is really good for her, and also with Amir. They both just came out, and they need to rework them. Yeah, like I said, in my part one video, like I mentioned that Amir is just need a little bit push to be used in the current meta. So it's here now. And then after that, Fumitsuki also just still recent, and I'm loving the change to Nora and Ophelia. Although Nora is already OP enough before this change, but in this patch, in this latest patch, like, she gonna get even better. Like, a lot of players don't know how to use Nora, but for those of you who has Resonance 6 Nora, you know what I'm talking about. Like, she can flatten the entire enemy lineup by herself. That was before this change. So for those of you who never tried that, you only have a couple of days before this patch hits, and after this patch hits, she gonna be even stronger. So let's go. We're gonna take a look at Nora first. Ability 1 deals damage to one enemy 3 times based on attack against different bonus effects based on the song Nora plays. And you know this, the Presto, Andante, and Largo buff that she gets. Now the changes is no longer replace each other, so you don't cycle in between those three, but you can get all three of them at the same time. Now it's gonna increase her strength by 3 times, because now she has all those 3 buffs on top of the other buffs, like attack up, critical damage up, speed up, blah blah blah, everything. Everything they gonna stack with each other. This is really, really good news. And the ability to passive. Now, the ability to was supposed to be an active skill, but now it becomes passive. Now, Nora has a chance of counter-attacking with Tempo Trio when she is attacked. She doesn't need to cast this skill anymore. So this is really good. Combined with Avatara, she's gonna be able to counter-attack a lot of times. And then when Nora has Presto, Andante, and Largo at the start of her active turns, I think because of the word "and" here, you need all 3 of them. So probably after you attack the enemy, after you attack the enemy 3 times and get these buffs in that order, if you have all 3 at the start of her active turn, she attacks with Hearing the Divine. Hearing the Divine is her 3rd skill, and then removes Presto, Andante, and Largo. So this is good. Like, that means that the cycle will go on like this. She's gonna attack 1 time, get Presto, attacks another time, gets Andante, and then attack another time, get Largo. And then on the 4th turn, at the start of her active turn, she gonna attack with Hearing the Divine automatically, and then after that, she gonna start her action without all these buffs. So that's what's gonna happen, which is really good. You're gonna be able to cast your 3rd skill twice. If you happen to have your 3rd skill of cooldown at the same turn there, you're gonna cast this automatically and then cast another hearing the divine again. Now, yeah, this one can counterattack without casting Rainbow Rondo. So this is good, really strong. And the third ability dispels several debuffs from its ally. This is what makes Nora really good. And now she also inflicts attack down on all enemies, extends all their debuff. This is also what is insanely strong with Nora before even this patch hits. And then deals damage to all enemies 4 times based on attack. The last hit deals extra true damage. Also, this is the one that potentially can flatten the entire enemy team up to a certain percentage of Nora's attack. And all Nora's damage won't land a critical hit. We all know that. But with every one accuracy, Nora ignores 0.5% of enemy defense. So Nora's Halcyon Harmonic has been removed. This was supposed to be the AOE that is followed up by your passive previously, the Presto Andante Largo thingy, and now it's been removed. So now you are going to cast Hearing the Divine consistently every 4 turns. If you manage to attack. But it's not just on the 4th turn, because if you manage to counter attack or if you manage to trigger your Avatara, obviously you're gonna get your Presto Andante and Largo much faster. So if the enemy manages to hit your Nora 4 times, probably 3 times, yes, 3 times, and you manage to trigger 3 Avatara or counter attack 3 times, you will already get your Presto Andante and Largo, and by the time it's Nora's turn to move, she gonna cast Hearing the Divine. It's not gonna be outside of her turn, too bad, but it's good news. Like, she at least gonna be able to do this consistently, unlike the previous one, like it's kind of a little bit random, And then after that, and its effects has been added to Hearing the Divine. Hearing the Divine now also triggers the Presto Andante and Largo effects. So if you manage to cast her 3rd skills, she gonna be able to get all 3 buffs at the same time, like together. So if we're gonna imagine this, then at the start of the battle, then Nora take her 1st turn, cast her 3rd skill, get Presto Andante and Largo, and then after that she gonna then in the next turn she gonna cast Hearing the Divine, and then after that she gonna start with her 1st ability spam, because the 2nd ability is now passive, so you cannot cast this anymore. So she gonna be casting her 1st ability more often. So it is good to give her Astral Set. That means that she gonna be able to cast her 1st skill even more often. So it makes her able to cast Hearing the Divine more often. So it's gonna be Astral Set and Avatara Set to Nora from now on after this patch hits. Now, the Resonance change, new passive effect, Rainbow Rondo, its counterattack increases AP for Nora's teammates. Really good. So if you do have Nora at Resonance 2, this is insanely nice. Like, if you manage to counterattack using Nora, obviously Nora needs to survive, because this requires the enemy to attack Nora, and Nora requires to survive, but we have Mavis. So if we manage to keep Nora alive with Mavis and outside of Graveless, then Nora will be able to counterattack without fearing of death, without the fear of death, and every counterattack increase AP for Nora's teammate. Like, in the best case scenario, Nora is the only one in Graveless state, and the rest of her teammates is not in the Graveless state, because if you increase her allies AP while in Graveless state, they gonna just go back to inside their grave much faster, So this is that best case scenario is situational. Now, Resonance 6, counter attack chance increase. This is insanely strong. We've already seen this in a couple of other Esper. Like, increasing that counter attack chance make them insanely strong because of their kit that requires them to do a lot of counter attack. So in this case, for Nora, she will be able to stack Presto Andante and Largo more often. So Resonance 6 is insanely strong, as expected of a Resonance 6. Like, it's gonna be your biggest power spike. Now, Divinate at the start of a round gains several stacks of Rainbow Shield. If Ana is deployed, gains additional stacks of Rainbow Shield. So, Rainbow Shield is no longer Ana's special ability. Now, you can have Nora block enemies single hit damage. And if you pair her together with Ana, they're gonna be unkillable. This is really, really good news. So for all of you who has Ana, now you should pair her with Nora. Because this way your Nora will be able to counterattack together with Ana. Like, this is insane. Like, if your Nora gets attacked, Nora has a chance to counterattack, and Ana also has a chance to counterattack the enemy. So in a sense, like, this makes your team like full of counterattacking, and every time you counterattack you get the buff, and by the time your Nora's turns, you're gonna cast the Hearing the Divine, and that will flatten the entire enemy team, and Ana will specialize in killing them one by one. So you have the AoE Esper, and you have the single target Esper. This is perfect. This is perfect. Rival attributes have been adjusted. I don't know what they adjust here, but I do hope they change it to Astral and Avatar. I also don't know what they have right now for Nora, because I don't have Nora. So I do hope it's now it is Astral and Avatar. Now, Ophelia. The change to Ophelia is also really strong. Ability 1, deals damage to one enemy based on attack, steals buff. Now she can steal buff with her first ability, which is good because Ophelia's multi-hit depends on the number of buffs and the debuffs of herself and her enemy, her target. Now, on the second ability, this damage, blah, 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 and it's debuff on Ophelia and it's debuff on the enemy, gains extra damage. This is also really strong. And restores HP based on damage dealt. Upon killing the enemy, gains 1 turn. So, if the enemy is not killed, this is the new one, resets this ability's cooldown. This is this is stupidly OP. Like, if you don't kill the enemy with your Ophelia, see, instead of casting her first ability after all of her skill goes on cooldown, she will never have her second ability on cooldown if she never kill her target. This is really strong against bosses, because you're obviously not gonna kill the boss. So if the enemy is not killed, the boss, like they don't mention whether this is supposed to be doesn't work on boss or not. So if you want to change your Sentinel Hunt team and also your Falsetto Fantasy, Ophelia gotta be insanely strong because she will have unlimited amount of second ability. And you know that in boss fight, like in Sentinel Hunt and Falsetto Fantasy, you can stack a lot of buff and debuff because the enemy move very slow, while you yourself will try to have as many buffs as possible that you can. Pairing up with someone like Chloe, who also gets a lot of benefit from having a ton of buffs, you can inflict insane amount of damage with both of them because you're gonna put a lot of support Esper that can give a ton of different kind of buffs. So why not make use of that to both together Chloe and also Ophelia? Insanely strong. Now the third ability, the same as the one in the base on attack, has Raigan Strike to perform pursuit attacks equal to the number of Ophelia's own buffs plus the target's debuffs up to a maximum of 4 times. If the target dies during the pursuit attack, continues to attack another target up to the maximum number of times. This ability and its pursuit attack is different for 2 times. Yeah, for those of you who have tried Ophelia, like you know how this works, like this just gonna keep hitting until the number of multi-hits. You expand all of your multi-hits chances to even if your main target already died. Now the change at Resonance Phase 0, Ophelia's pursuit attack limit is increased to 4. This was supposed to be, I think, this was supposed to be on the 4th Resonance or the 6th Resonance. I forgot. I think it's on the 6th. And now you get this from Phase 0, which we've already seen in a couple of other Esper in the previous patch, that this is a really strong changes because Resonance 6 is always gonna be your biggest power spike. Now they put it on the phase 0. So now you get your Resonance 6 Ophelia, the previous Resonance 6 Ophelia strength to the current level right now. I mean, how to explain this? Like the level of strength of Ophelia that was supposedly only you can only gain that level on Ophelia's Resonance 6. Now all of your Ophelias already reached that kind of level, and she gonna get stronger even further. Okay, that's how to explain that. Now the changes to the current Resonance 6 now, because they put it here in the Resonance 0, Butterfly Dreams, the third ability, resets Pursuit Attack counter when a Pursuit Attack kills an enemy. This is stupidly OP. Like if you kill an enemy which is obviously you're gonna kill them. Like for those of you who have tried Ophelia, you understand how strong her single target ability damage is. I've mentioned this in my like I think it was last month video, I think. Yeah, when I did test the PTR testing, I mentioned that I wish people remember again how strong Ophelia's single target DPS is, and then they just ramp it up like twice or triple in this patch. Like resetting Pursuit Attack counter when she kills someone. They're making sure that if the enemy is paper, like if the enemy is of a speed lineup, a speed team lineup, they definitely gonna die. Because obviously nobody can withstand a 4 multi-hits from Ophelia if they are not a defender Esper. They definitely gonna die. And then after they die, Ophelia gonna reset the Pursuit Attack counter, so she gonna have unlimited pursuit. And if all of them are paper, she gonna kill all 5 of them. This is insane. This is insane. Like single target DPS, and she can also be used to kill bosses now. So insanely good change for Ophelia. So for those of you who have already have Resonance 6 Ophelia, do use her. You can start trying her out and see if she can fit in your current lineup. Now Fatima, Gilgamesh, yes, she definitely need a buff. The changes. Ability 2, deals damage to all enemies 3 times per sun attack, deals damage per sun glory attack, passive gains 5 times resolve stacks at the start of combat. This time an enemy gains a buff, increase Fatima's stats, and gains 1 stack of sun glory. When some stack reaches the limit, she instantly casts this ability and removes all stack targets below, she gains stack of the able to control effect inflicted by enemies whose attack is below hers. This is the same. Fighter's Resource Adjustment is stack grants damage mitigation when casting Golden Judgment during non-active turns. 1 second when damage is permanently increased. Now, this is a change. Fatima now gains more attribute bonuses when her enemy gain buffs, so it's not gonna be reflected in here because this is the percentage number that is increased. I do hope the percentage number is twice the current amount, so that means that she gonna be twice stronger than what she is right now. And then the effect of Fighter's Resolve has been adjusted to continuously increase Fatima's damage mitigation effect. So this is the changes. The damage mitigation effect is stackable for every single buff of Fighter's Resolve stack. So this is insanely good. I do want to see the percentage number, like definitely not gonna reach 100% damage mitigation effects, obviously, because that means that she will receive 0 damage. But I do hope this goes up to at least 50%, just like Petros, because Petros, even with 50%, is still not enough for a DPS Esper to prevent them from dying because of how strong the current Simmer Legendary Esper is. So 50% is the minimum for these damage mitigation effects for Fatima to at least be really, really good here, to be able to compete with the current meta. Now Resonance 2, new effect, Golden Judgment when allied Amir casts Justice Serve launches a single attack with Golden Judgment. So we have our pair again, so they just gonna try to pair up all of the Esper that comes out from the same story. So this is good because Amir also needs just a little bit of push to be used in the current meta. So Amir is already OP enough, and now paired up with Fatima, they gonna be able to increase each other's strength, so if Fatima comes out with a really good percentage number here, then we definitely will be able to use her together with Amir. I've seen sometimes some players make use of Amir in PvP, so he's really strong. Not as strong as Wuyo kind of strong, but he is really really good. So together with Fatima, they gonna be even harder to kill, because also sometimes like 50% of the time I had trouble killing Amir because I'm lazy to change to my Tang Xuan. But with the change to Amir, it's gonna be even stronger, because there's a new passive effect with when Fatima takes ability damage, shares a certain percentage of her damage taken. So they're gonna share damage in between them. So at least your Amir will be unkillable, because you need to kill Fatima first before you can kill Amir, because Amir has more health than Fatima. But for Fatima herself, it's gonna increase her survivability together with the damage mitigation here. Damage mitigation and then shareable damage. Wow, this is good. Like she gonna feel like a defender Esper, even though she is an attack Esper, a fighter Esper. Now changes to Yuhime. This is also huge, because Yuhime has another pair. I'm gonna go into that soon. Now the deals damage to one enemy based on attack. This is the first skill. Amplifies damage based on the stack count of Hell's Hand, and this was what was previously the biggest damage dealing skill from Yuhime, because this used up all stacks of Hell's Hand to increase the damage of this one hit. And reduce the enemy's attack throughout combat up to a certain percentage. Now this one is also, I don't know, like, is this new? Reduce the enemy's attack throughout combat, like is this permanent attack reduction like Chuyao's Resonance 6? If it is, then this is great, because this is on her first ability. Oh yeah, here, with a permanent reduction of the target's attack. So yeah, this is just like Chuyao's Resonance 6. So this is really good, because you can use Astral set and also Avatar set to reduce the target's attack permanently. This is gonna be really strong against someone like Ana or Iki, if you can manage to hit Iki, because they rely a lot with from their attack. And if you can permanently reduce that, then every single fighter Esper gonna be useless. So Nether Jewel no longer consumes Hell Hand stacks, which is insanely good. That means that you no longer need to care about your stack. Just keep spamming it, and you have your maximum Hell Hand stack all the time. And its immunity effect has been removed and replaced with the permanent. I forgot what is this immunity effect is, but now she gonna reduce the enemy's attack permanently, which is kind of a lot better. Like if you don't have Chuyao at Resonance 6, then your Yuhime is your go-to Esper to reduce the target's attack permanently, because there is no mention here that this cannot work against bosses. So if you use Yuhime in Sentinel Hunt and your Falsetto Fantasy now, you will be able to reduce the boss's attack permanently. That will increase your survivability, so you will be able to deal more damage to your bosses now. So like you will need less survivability, and you most likely gonna last much longer. So this is insanely strong against bosses. It was already strong in Chuyao. I mentioned this in Chuyao's video about his Resonance 6 potential against bosses. So now you can use Yuhime instead. An ability to deal damage, or you can just have Yuhime in the first team and Chuyao in the second team, if you have Chuyao at Resonance 6, so that can also work. Ability 2, deals damage to all enemies based on attack. Amplifies damage based on the stack count of Hell's Hand. Reduces the enemy's maximum HP of damage that inflicts defense down. Passive, when any non-boss enemy gains AP up, reduces their AP. This is the new one. This is insanely strong, because we have Hamstrung now. This is supposed to be a debuff in Cube, and we have Nightmare, we have Hamstrung, we have a lot of debuffs that we've never seen in action, like in the real game. We've only seen this in Cube Miracle, and now finally we can see Hamstrung in Yuhime, which is a really good debuff. Like, this is insanely strong. Like, where is it? Hamstrung here. Can't gain AP up and can't gain special turns. So we need to test this too, because like I've never actually tested this anymore. Like, I've already forgot, because it's been so long since I did I'm doing cube automatically now. Like, just leave it to AI and no longer see what is going on. So if this can't get special turns, include someone like pursuit attack, then this is insanely OP, because this prevents people from attacking outside of their turns. Like, that's what I assume from special turns, because this doesn't say can't gain bonus turns. Like, we know for sure if this says cannot gain bonus turn, then that means that for Esper that get a bonus turn, they will be prevented to do so. But it is special turns, so I think this also affects pursuit attack. So if you can give Hamstrung to someone like Yuxu, Feng Sun, Ana, Nora, this gonna stop all of them. So even though Nora gain an insane buff here, her counter is also right in here, the Hamstrung here, because this is a really strong debuff. And you know me, I love playing around with debuffs, so this is a really good addition. But the only problem for me is that I don't have Yuhime. So yeah, aside from Hamstrung, when a non-boss enemy gets AP up, they reduce their AP instead. So this is a really strong counter against someone like Tie, someone like Dahlia, someone like Clara, someone like Feng Sun. This is a really strong counter against them, and cast this ability, the second ability when they get AP up. So at the beginning of the turn, even if you lose speed, if the enemy Feng Sun move first, hopefully that is resonance to Feng Sun, then you are the one who's going to move instead and inflicts damage and reduce maximum HP capacity and inflicts defense down. I've seen a lot of players in a knockout that use Yuhime because they don't want to because they want to use their strongest team in attacking, not in defending, so they mostly use Yuhime for defending. So this is a really strong buff to Yuhime's potential. So your defense is gonna be much stronger, and if you think that you want to attack using Yuhime now, you can do it now. So yeah, triggers once per turn. So really strong. They get no longer consume health and now reduce the target capacity and can effectively counter enemies with attack up. So yeah, the maximum HP capacity reduction was supposedly on the third ability only, but now you can also reduce the enemy's maximum HP on the second ability. I think I mentioned this in Luoyan's video, in Explain Luoyan's video, that Yuhime's percentage HP reduction is kind of like a little bit lower than Luoyan, but she just happened to be faster in applying this. So now with two of them on two skills, she will be able to reduce the enemy's maximum HP much better than Luoyan, and hopefully better than Iki. This is gonna be her specialty, reducing the enemy's maximum HP and also countering enemy's AP up and also stopping the enemy from getting AP up anymore, and also special turns. This is insanely strong. Like, you've heard me talking like a lot of utilities here in Yuhime herself. Now, the third ability, deals damage to all enemies 2 times based on attack. The first hit inflicts disease, the second hit reduces enemy's maximum HP, clears enemy AP. This is strong. I don't know if this is the change, right? The effect have been changed beyond the grave. Now it clears the target's AP and inflicts same strong. Yes, that's the new one. So she works exactly like Sienna. So Sienna already become a captain, so you can use her to clear the enemy's AP while being your speed captain. Now you can also use Yuhime for the same purpose, together with, not together, but the same purpose as Sienna, clears the enemy AP while being the speed captain herself. And then on top of that, you have Hamstrung too on the third ability here. Defeat the targets that have damage. Yes, Hamstrung, really strong. See that. And then passive, and yes, this is the same. And the effects and method of health has been changed. Yeah, you will get your health hand not by attacking with your second ability, because last time the second ability doesn't have a cooldown, so you need to keep stacking your health hand by casting your second ability. The AI also knows that, because the AI gonna keep spamming the second ability to get the stack of health hand. But now you get health hand at the end of Yuhime's action. Every turn you're gonna get one stack, and you no longer remove the stack by attacking using your first ability. So you will have, after a couple of turns, you will have a maximum number of health hand stack, and you will deal maximum of damage from then on. Beyond the Grave now clears the target. Yes, Resonance 2, new effect Beyond the Grave. Its stack of health hand has a chance of casting Yuhime's ability one more time when her ability ends. So this is insanely strong. I don't know if this is as what I think it is, like it works as what I think it is, then every stack gives you more chance. Like for example, like take an example, if one stack gives you 5% chance, that means that you have 5%, 10%, 15%, 20% chance of casting Yuhime's ability one more time. I don't know if they mistyped this, or is this supposed to say like that. It's not ability one, like not ability one, okay, not ability one. Like this is a Yuhime's ability one more time. I think so. Most likely that's what it means here. So that is like, for example, if you cast your third ability and you have 15% chance of casting the third ability one more time, so you will cast your third ability 2 times in the same turn. So this is really good. Like you can count this like a pursuit attack, but with your third ability and your second ability, you know, and can be triggered consecutively. Obviously, if you can trigger this consecutively, if you are lucky, you will be able to cast your third skill 10 times, just like Tang Xuan, you know, or Tang Yin. Tang Yin and Tang Xuan, if you get lucky, you will be able to hit the enemy 10 times consecutively. So, but that one won't be able to kill the enemy. But for Yuhime, her potential to kill her enemy, if she manages to cast her third skill 10 times, is very high. So yeah, Resonance 6 new effect Beyond the Grave. When Yuhime's active turn ends, the teammate with the highest attack gains AP. Really strong. Like you will be able to make your main DPS attack much faster. So, and also because Yuhime is sometimes being used in Dislyte Land, and also Falsetto Fantasy and Sentinel Han, this will increase your main DPS turn a lot faster. When the active turn of the teammate with the highest attack ends, Yuhime gains AP, so they gonna give AP back to back. So Yuhime move, the main DPS gets AP more. And then when the main DPS gets turn, then Yuhime will get AP. So cannot be triggered consecutively, obviously. Like you won't be able to keep triggering this, within the same turn. Now, other changes: Captain ability, ally speed plus 25%. This is the biggest speed increase. Not the biggest. Like I think there are a faster one. Like I think it's Unas, right? Unas in triple threat has the highest one. Now, for everyone Twilight Order member, Yamato and Moroyama deployed speed is increased. Now we gonna need to test this in PTR, because if the speed is increased is through the captain ability, then Yuhime gonna be the fastest captain Esper in this game. Because that means that if I don't think you're gonna increase by 1%, at the very minimum it's gonna increase 5%. So Yamato 5%, Moriyama 5%, so this is gonna go up to 35%, which is gonna be much stronger and much faster than Unas himself. But if the speed increase is only for Yuhime herself, then yeah, this is just a bonus for Yuhime herself. But I do hope this is gonna affect the entire captain buff here, like the entire allies lineup. So we're gonna try this. Remind me to try this in the PTR later. So really strong. She gonna be your go-to speed captain if this is the case, because you definitely gonna have the fastest speed if you bring Yuhime, Yamato, Moroyama, and then Ethan, and the last one is Tolan. Your Tolan gonna be the fastest Tolan in the universe. So yeah, going to Yamato, ability to deal damage to all enemies 3 times based on Yamato's attack and defense. Is he has a chance of inflicting buff blocker for 2 turns, absorb AP and distribute it evenly across all allies. Can be resisted. Its stack of Rasamon deals extra 2 damage based on Yamato's defense. The requirement for a critical hit to absorb AP has been removed, so you will absorb AP regardless whether you deal critical damage or not. And then Yamato dealing extra 2 damage no longer remove Rashomon. This is good news because you know that building Yamato, you don't need to give him critical rate at all, because after he casts his third ability, his next skill gonna be a guaranteed critical damage, because he will has a maximum number of Rashomon, and after that he gonna remove his Rashomon, and his attack afterwards gonna deal a normal attack damage because you don't put any critical rate on Yamato until the moment he casts his third ability again. But now that disadvantage is gone, because he will have a permanent Rashomon buff on himself after he casts the third ability at the beginning of the battle, and that will give him 100% critical rate, and it's permanent, it's permanent. So that's good. And ability 3 at the start of a round gains much. Wait, I don't want to say permanent first. I think there's I remember I see that you can remove the Rashomon buff. So we will see later. At the start of a round, gains X stack of Rashomon, the number of spraying allied defender Esper, so this gives you 5. If you have 5 defender Esper. So the requirement to give Rashomon changed now, so you will need more work to get to maximum stack of Rashomon. But at least you can, at the beginning of the turn, you can already get 5 maximum. 5 will probably give you 50% critical rate, so that's already good enough. Like in the next time you cast your third ability, then you will have 100% critical rate, and hopefully that is permanent. When Yuhime as an ally gains additional stack of Rashomon, which is really good. We will see the percentage number. If this able to give 10 stacks of Rashomon to Yamato with a single cast, then you definitely need to pair Yuhime with Yamato everywhere you go. But Yuhime is not a defender Esper, so this not gonna help count towards Yuhime. At the start of Yamato's turn, if he doesn't have Rashomon, he gets Rashomon stacks based on the number of surviving allied defender Espers. Yes. So every time you move, you don't need to cast your third ability. This is passive. Every time you move, you're gonna be able to get Rashomon stacks. So on the second turn, if you have 5 defenders, then you will have a maximum number of Rashomon. Only 2 turns. You only need 2 turns. If ally Yuhime is live against another, yes. And grants Yuhime a bonus turn. Now this is really strong, because if ally Yuhime is alive, he gets additional stack of Rashomon and grants. So at the start of Yamato's turn, if ally Yuhime is alive, grants Yuhime a bonus turn. So every time Yamato attack, he will allow Yuhime to attack first before him. So for example, like this is Yuhime's turn, she attacks, and then this is Yamato turn, but before Yamato move, he gonna give another bonus turn to Yuhime. Yuhime move first, and then Yamato, and then after that somebody else move, and then go to Yuhime again, and then go to Yamato, but start with Yuhime first and then to Yamato again. So Yuhime gonna be able to move twice every single turn, like every wave turn. She gonna be able to move twice if you pair Yuhime together with Yamato. So that is really good. Like we know that Yuhime is already strong with this buff, so that will give her more chance to reduce the enemy's maximum HP and deal damage. And then the Rashomon buff also changed. I think it doesn't have critical resist previously, right? It only gives you a critical, right? Okay. I'm mistaken. So Rashomon no longer gives you critical rate. This is bad. This is bad. So you can no longer build. Yeah. Here, Rashomon's effect has been just critical rate has been removed and Yamamoto's effect have been enhanced. Yeah, so you no longer can build Rashomon, Yamato without any critical rate. You need critical rate to Yamato now, but you now have a bonus of critical resist, attack, and defense from Rashomon. So I don't know, like it depends on the percentage number of this increase. Like I do prefer it to be critical rate, but yeah, at least if the percentage number is good, then this is gonna be better. At least Yamato will be very, very strong. And if he gives himself a bonus defense, that means that he gonna be pair up really good with Donar, because Donar will be able to make use of this defense increase on top of the defense up buff, and Donar will explode and take all of that defense and throw it to the enemy. And each time the carrier takes a hit, consumes 1 stack and increases. Oh yeah, that it is. The way to reduce the Rashomon stack. If you get hit, you consume 1 stack. This is just like Mateo. So you don't want to get hit, but it is really hard as a defender esper because you don't move that fast. So you gonna definitely need to have Yuhime as your ally to at least every turn you replenish back the stack that you lose by taking damage. And that increases AP. Yeah, every time carrier takes a hit, increases AP. So at least he gonna be able to move and refresh that remove stack. Because once per turn, stackable with a limit. Yeah, I think that the limit is 10 probably. Then change the business to better suit defense if Yuhime. Then Rashomon effect is adjusted. Lesson 2. Abyssal Crossing. When consuming Rashomon permanently increases all allied defenders' Esper's defense and all allied fighters' Esper's attack up to a limited amount. This is insanely good. Like, every time you get hit, your allies get stronger instead. So you do want your Yamato to get hit and consume Rashomon, and your allied defender's Esper's defense will permanently increase, and again it will make your Donar absorb more defense and explode it to the entire enemy lineup. So really good Resonance 2, but because Yamato is on the championship, so do aim to get him as much as possible. I've seen a lot of players already have like Resonance 6 Yamato, so we're gonna assume that this is gonna be the default for everyone. So Resonance 4, when attacked with by critical hit, damage is reduced, okay. And then a new effect, Abyssal Crossing again, when Yamato gains Rashomon at the start of his turn, dispel all debuffs from allies. This is insanely OP. So your Wuyo lineup will definitely become more OP because of this. Because you can no longer get debuff at all, because your Wuyo already prevent your defender Esper from getting debuff. Now you also have Yamato, so this is just like the non-simmer version of Wuyo. Yamato will be the non-simmer version of Wuyo, just like how Nora is like the non-simmer version of Ana, and then a lot of Esper now becomes like that. Now this one is the non-simmer version of Wuyo. Heals all allies based on their maximum HP. Really strong. That means that you don't need to give specific stats for Yamato. This will heal your allies by a fixed amount because this is their maximum HP. And grants Yuhime Soul Guard. Soul Guard is Nicole's special skill that share the damage taken of that ally to the caster and prevent that ally from dying. So this is insanely strong. So you definitely do want to bring Yuhime and Yamato together in the same lineup. They just inseparable. Like the benefit you gain from putting them together in the same team is not worth changing it to another Esper. Like sometimes you do think that for in case like Amir and Fatima, maybe if Fatima is not on par, then you might just bring Amir himself. He's already almost immortal by himself. But for this one, the benefit of bringing them together outweighed anything. Like they definitely need to be together. Like the strength of them is insanely good, when paired up together. And Divinate, when consuming Rashomon, Hamato heals all allies based on his defense. And you already increase his defense by a lot. So this is really good. Like Yamato will be a killer now. Every time he gets attacked, his allies will heal. So insanely good. Now Fumitsuki also probably need a change because a lot of players don't know how to use her. So with this change, it's going to be much easier to make use of her. Now, ability 2. At the end of an enemy turn, if Fumitsuki is not incapacitated and doesn't have a taunt, launches a pursuit attack with bamboo cutter and inflicts stun on the target for 1 turn, 1 miss and can't be resisted. This is what I always mention. She is a disruptor, not a controller, not a fighter, not a support. She is a disruptor. She disrupts the enemy's flow of attack because every time they move, they get stunned. It's gonna stop them from moving even further on the next turn. And this won't miss and can't be resisted, and this will be done outside of Fumitsuki's turn. So even if you lose in terms of speed, Fumitsuki will be able to disrupt the enemy's combo. Now the change, the requirement for launching a pursuit attack has been removed. Usually, before this, you require the enemy to have below 50% HP. Now she will be able to do this from the beginning of the battle, which is a huge buff for her. Because a lot of players don't want to use Fumitsuki because you need to give her a Billimon in order to increase the pursuit attack chance to below 50% instead of below 30%, I think. Yeah, so a lot of players don't want to give a Billimon to her, and while you still need to reduce the enemy's HP below 50%, but now you will be able to do this pursuit attack since the beginning of the battle. Pursuit attack now occurs after an enemy action, not necessarily at the end of the turn. This is also insane, because this means that Esper like Ophelia, who do a lot of pursuit attack, will trigger this every time she does her pursuit attack. I can confirm this because this is exactly what happened to Barden. If you go to my shorts video in my Dislyte playlist, find my Barden video, and Barden counters Ophelia exactly because of this. Like a lot of Esper only counter, like for example, like Anna, she will only do a counter attack once to Ophelia, and then Ophelia will deal all of her pursuit attack, and Anna won't counter anymore because it is considered a single turn. But this one happens after every action the enemy take. So every action, which is a pursuit attack, will trigger this every single time, just like my Barden. I do want to show you this, like the video. You can find it in the. I'm gonna put it in the link in the comment later. The Barden and Ophelia interaction. So this is insanely strong because you will definitely stop Ophelia. So every single one of them, like they get buff, like Nora and Ophelia get stopped by Yuhime, and then this one Fumitsuki also stopped Ophelia. So all those Esper have their rock paper scissors interaction. So this is good. Like the balance is there. Additionally, inflicting stun no longer relies on bamboozled. You don't need bamboozled buff in order to inflict the stun. Yeah, this requirement is what makes Fumitsuki really hard to use. So now this is going to be very, very easy for everyone to start using Fumitsuki to stop the enemy's flow of attack. Now this damage, the third ability deals damage to all enemies based on attack, inflicts disease and critical rate down, heals all allies based on Fumitsuki's maximum HP, gains shield and bamboozle, shield strength is based on maximum HP, and bamboozle undispelled increases resist and defense. I think this is new. Yes, it didn't give resist and defense previously and dispels all debuffs from the carrier at the start of their turn. Yeah, change the requirement for gambling shield has been removed, but it has been adjusted. Yeah, this has been adjusted. So it wasn't like this previously, and this is also really strong. Dispel all debuff from the carrier at the start of their turn. That means that every time you move, you will definitely move. There is nothing that can stop you from moving. You know, you will definitely move on your turn. So, but it is still a disadvantage. Like you still do need to stun Fumitsuki if you fight against Fumitsuki, because stunning Fumitsuki will stop the bamboo cutter pursuit here, you know, until the next time Fumitsuki move again, you know, the get her actual turn. Now this is good. It is increase her survivability, and now the resonance to effect bamboo cutter dispels all buffs from the target before casting the ability. I think this already happened. Oh no. Previously I think this dispel one buff for every attack. I think I forgot. So this is also really strong because you definitely be able to kill the enemy. Like if the enemy have like invincibility and is sitting on 1 HP, they're gonna die, definitely gonna die after they move because Fumitsuki gonna kill them. And there's are a lot of other application with this, but definitely like because now you will trigger the bamboo cutter since the beginning of the battle. That means that every time the enemy move, all of them will get all of their buffs removed, you know, all 5 of them. So now going to the Resonance 6, Heavenly Raiment. At the start of combat, permanently gets bamboozled. Casting this ability no longer gets bamboozled. So really strong. That means that you will have your bamboozled permanent. This increase her resist and defense and dispel all debuffs permanently. Like this is permanent. That is really strong. Not to the point of OP, because like I said, you still can get stunned. You know, this doesn't prevent you from getting stunned, and it stops your bamboo cutter, definitely stopping Fumitsuki, because this is all the things about her. You know, you bring Fumitsuki because of this. If she cannot do this, then you don't need to bring Fumitsuki. So yeah, this is really strong, but not to the point of OP. Now, casting Bamboo Cutter has a chance of increasing the target's ability cooldowns. So on top of dispelling all buffs, you can also increase the target's ability cooldowns. Like I said, a disruptor. See, disrupt the enemy's flow of attack. So once they move, they're gonna get all of their buffs removed, and they can no longer do their next turn because they either get stunned, or even if they can remove their stun, they cannot use their ability anymore because it's on cooldown. So that's it for this patch note, guys. So I'm looking forward to trying them out, all of them in the PTR, and we will see if they are as good as what I see in here. So that's it for this video, guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the PTR testing. Bye-bye.